Hey everyone, in this video I want to make some brief comments about the reading responses assignment, and I also want to provide you with a brief tutorial about how to use Twitter. So the key thing here is that you have the choice of whether you want to be on Twitter to complete these assignments there, or you can complete them on the discussion board. If you complete them on the discussion board, keep in mind that this assignment was designed for Twitter, meaning that it's meant for you to make a series of comments about different elements of the reading across the various readings. So we'll be reading a few different chapters, a few different selections in every unit. And so you want to take from a range of those readings in your comments to explain how certain elements, ideas, pieces of evidence, interpretations helped you to answer or start thinking about an answer to the unit's guiding question. So those guiding questions are listed in the syllabus. They're listed at the beginning of each learning module. And so those are the things that you'll use to, those questions are the things that you'll use to kind of decide what parts of the readings are most important, significant, and that you'll make comments on. And again, I think Twitter can be a wonderful place for this type of assignment because the platform itself gives us a really dynamic way of posting ideas and interacting with each other. And as you'll see in just a second, you can use Twitter in such a way that you really don't ever have to interact with anyone else but our class members. The catch with Twitter is that even in that circumstance, it's still public, right? So anything you post to Twitter is in a public space, even if you have the course hashtag as what you're using to organize what you're doing. And if that doesn't make sense right now, it will in a second, I think. So again, think carefully about how you want to complete this assignment. You have those options. If you are a little unsure, please don't hesitate to reach out, send me an email. I'm happy to answer questions, talk you through anything that you're wondering about, and that sort of thing. So, again, if you're not really averse to Twitter because of the kind of public nature of it, and you would rather keep your comments and things private, I do suggest giving it a try. And I'm here to support you and help you in that. And it's totally fine also if you decide to create a Twitter account. You complete Unit 1, the comments about what is history. You do it there, and then after that, you're like, oh no, I don't know about that Twitter thing. You could then in Unit 2 post your reading responses on the discussion board. So you're not kind of locked into one or the other forums. You could do the discussion board to begin with, and then switch over to Twitter later on. Again, it just depends on how you feel about those things. And please do read this document because I've given you a few things to think about in terms of why or why not you might want to opt into Twitter. All right, so I'm going to click a new tab here. Here is twitter.com. I'm going to move my head over to this side just so you can see these buttons. But this is what Twitter will look like if you do not yet have an account. To sign up, just click sign up. You will enter a name. You can use email instead of phone. I don't like to give Twitter my phone number. I don't expect that you would either. And so I'm not going to go through all of the steps of creating the free account, but be thoughtful about some of those settings. Again, like you could use email instead of a phone. You can do something that's called protecting your tweets. That means that people have to get permission to see your tweets. For the purposes of our class, that is hard because you would have to allow every member of the class to see your tweets, to sort of be your friend or whatever, if you want to think of it in Facebook terms. And so, again, that's why I ask you to think carefully about these decisions, because for the purposes of using this for class, you do need to keep the tweets unprotected. Otherwise, you can have all the settings at your own kind of personal comfort level. Let's see, can I cancel out of this? Apparently not. I'll just refresh. I refresh sign up. So it'll probably pop the same thing open again. Well, we'll see. So that was my mistake. Let me just type twitter.com again. So I want to sign in now to show you what Twitter looks like when you log in. When you go through the sign up process, Twitter will try to get you to follow a bunch of different people. You're not required to follow anyone. You actually don't have to follow anyone for the purposes of our class. You don't even have to follow me on Twitter because we'll be using the course hashtag that I've listed in several different places. So I'm going to sign in using my credentials that are already here. When you sign into Twitter, and depending on how quick your internet is, this is what you will see. I have the dark version. You could have the light background. It just sort of depends. And so you'll see here in the middle, this is your feed, essentially. Anyone that you follow, their tweets will appear here. And Twitter used to be better about showing you just everything from most current to older. They've changed their algorithms, so it's like Facebook or any of the other social media, which, again, I'm not real happy about. But you get things that are not necessarily the most recent tweets. You get things from a couple days ago, so you have to pay attention to this right here that will tell you when the tweet was posted. And I'm saying all this, but it doesn't matter as much for the purposes of our class. So I'll show you that here in a second. I'm going to move my head back to this side. Everything on the right is just stuff Twitter is suggesting to me, stuff it thinks I should be looking at. I honestly don't pay much attention to it. It does refresh, so it's not refreshing in real time, you'll notice. It took it a little bit and then it refreshed. Over here, these are all the tools that you'll use to interact with Twitter. So for example, home is where we're at now. For our class, though, what you'll want to do is just use the course hashtag. So you can go to the search bar here and type in the course hashtag, which is the #H1180. Hit enter. So here is the search for the course hashtag, and this will show you the top tweets. I don't understand why or how it thinks something's a top tweet. What you want to do is click latest, and that will give you the most recent tweets, people who have used our course hashtag. Apparently, we've got some Jehovah Ball stuff going on with this hashtag. Every now and then that happens, that someone outside the class happens to use this hashtag for something, but for the most part, it's just us. If that changes, I would change the course hashtag and let you know about that. So what you'll see here then, here's an announcement I made for an event that was taking place at the end of the last term. I'll often post news stories that are relevant to the class. And then as you go down here, there's a lot of me. You'll see, here is someone from last semester responding to others. So what you're seeing again is people typed the course hashtag in their tweets, and so they appear here in this feed. To show you what that looks like in practice, I'm going to click this tweet button. So again, this is when I'm ready to add a tweet to the course hashtag. I want to comment on the reading. I will type that comment here. And do remember you get 256 characters, I think, is what it is now. So you don't have a lot of space. So you'll want to try to be concise. But again, the idea is try to work on writing concisely and including details as much as possible. If you click the tweet button while you're in the course hashtag search, as we are now, it'll automatically populate the hashtag for you. It's automatically there. You don't have to worry about typing. If you click tweet from a different spot in Twitter, it won't automatically give it to you, but you just type it in yourself. So I did the #H1180, and you notice it's there twice now. But it also, once you use the # and start typing, it makes it blue. It becomes the hyperlink that will take you to this course hashtag, or to the hashtag search, I should say. You can add images and GIFs. You can make polls. Those are things you don't necessarily need to do. You can also post, or you can paste a URL to a different website. So just for the sake of argument, this is something I was reading. It's actually not relevant to our class in this tab over here, but I'm going to go and copy this URL just for the sake of argument, and I'm going to paste it here. And so if you type a comment about a certain element of the reading, you found a resource online that had something to do with it that added to the conversation, you can include it and tweet that to the rest of us, and so on. So those are just some things you can do. And then when you're ready, you click tweet, and it takes it a second to update, but I'm going to click latest just to see if we can get there. There it is. So now my comment is on top of these two that are kind of not meant to be there. So hopefully that won't be an issue. That's something I will address and let you know about if it is. But again, every now and then we get a couple of these kinds of things, and it's not a big deal because it's not a hashtag people are actually following. All right. So when you want to respond to classmates, you may have to scroll down a little, as I've done. And so you go down and you can see, so Hannah was responding to others. You can see Hannah replying to Liz Does History. You can see this was one of her initial tweets. So you can scroll down, see what people are saying, read through that, and when you're ready to respond to someone, you click this little reply bubble, and it will pop up another tweet box, and you can type the reply there and just click reply. It is best to always type the hashtag into your replies as well, just FYI. So that's kind of the nuts and bolts. I mean, that's really all you need to know. Otherwise, you can retweet by clicking here. You can like certain tweets with this heart button. Those are not things you necessarily need to do. You'll notice sometimes you get notifications. I'll click on this. I was a little hesitant because I don't know what this is. Oh, it's a login from a new device. I logged out and logged back in, so that's what it's telling me. And so sometimes Twitter will send these news things, these news headlines. Again, you don't have to pay attention to that. What you might pay attention to here, or you'll want to, is if someone retweets you or likes your tweet or responds to you, you'll get a notification for it. And those are the things that you'll be able to see. Oh, hey, someone in class responded to me, or the instructor responded to me, so I can go in there and either write back or just see what they said, or so on and so forth. So that's a way to interact with that. I'm going to click back just to see if we can go, back to the hashtag search. But again, if all you ever do is just have the course hashtag search up on Twitter, type your things here, respond to each other for class, that's perfect. That's all you need to do. I did want to point out, I do create lists of the course members who use Twitter. What that means is once I've seen you on Twitter because you've posted something to the course hashtag, I'll add you to the list for Modern Latin America. So that means these are members from last semester. I'm going to update and fix that for our class in the next couple of days. But what you'll see then are everyone's, all of the tweets. So for example, Layla was in History 1180. Now she's taking New Mexico History, which has a different hashtag. It's a different class, different instructor that's also using Twitter. But because she is in this list, all of her tweets appear here. That's what I wanted to point out to you, to be aware of. I will end up being able to see everything you ever tweet. And so, again, that's a consideration to take into account. That may mean you want to create a separate account for school to use just for class, and that's totally fine. Some folks just like to use their personal Twitter account for class. And that's fine too, if you don't mind the rest of us being able to see all the things that you tweet. So that, again, was what I was saying. Twitter's public. Even though what we're doing is focused on the course hashtag, and that's how we talk to each other in class and find each other's work, everything that you do is available to everyone. So again, I wanted to present the tutorial in this way so that you can think about some of those things as you make a decision about whether to use Twitter or the discussion board for the reading response assignments. Again, as I mentioned before, if you have questions, concerns, you're not sure about whatever it is, don't hesitate to reach out to me, and I'm here to support you with this. So again, I think either way, we'll have some engaging conversations about the reading. You may get some more experience using Twitter as a platform that you can apply in other ways outside of the class. That's also something that can be a benefit. So, all right, I'll leave it there, and I will talk to you soon.